This past week has seen some good news for EVs, and for once it wasn't just about Teslas. The President of the United States, Joe Biden, got to drive an electric car, and it wasn't just any electric car, it was the new Ford electric Ute, the F-150, that's been rolled out in its Michigan headquarters. And Joe Biden took it for a test drive up and down the tarmac and surprised some people with his acceleration, even with the Secret Service agents in the car. "This sucker's quick," he said, and the Ford CEO went even further, saying it hauls ass and tows like a beast. That's a complete contrast, of course, to what's happening in Australia, where the coalition government is mocking electric vehicles and claiming they ruin the weekend. Scott Morrison has been filmed driving an electric truck up in Brisbane, but it was just across the driveway and not very far. And in the last budget, the coalition government's contribution to electric vehicles has been to give a $2.3 billion subsidy to Australia's last two oil refineries, including a company, Ampol, which is basing its business model around the assumption that electric vehicles will simply not feature in the transition in the future. In fact, they're betting that only 1% of electric vehicles in Australia by 2030, and that they will still be selling petrol and diesel well beyond 2050. But look, at least some people get to drive an electric vehicle. Bob Katter, the independent MP, was given a test drive, or at least a ride, in a Tesla Model S up in Queensland in coal country, and like some of the other people taken for a test drive by Daniel Bleakley, they've been really impressed. And maybe we just have to take every single politician one at a time in an electric car just to show them what they can do. But just getting back to that Ford electric Ute, what a car and what a transformation for the electric vehicle industry. This is a Ute. It's not really that much more expensive than the petrol or diesel alternatives you get now for tradies who get their cars or their trucks or their Utes on a lease basis. Pretty much a no-brainer.
Or if you've got a table saw, a blender, a circular saw, a fan, a can opener, a kettle, a slow cooker, and a juicer that need powering, the F-150 Lightning is up to the task.
You lift up the bonnet and there is just this massive frunk. Put your eskies there, you can put your camping equipment there, you can put all your tools there. As the Ford guy says, you can build a house with this and you can charge a house with this. In fact, it's actually got a charge or a capacity of 9.6 kilowatts at any one time, which is more than enough for most power tools, and certainly more than enough to power a house. And a big battery in there, probably 100 kilowatt hours. Well, if you really needed to, you could probably charge it for about 4 or 5 days just from the truck. My one request in all of this is that if you do get a Ford electric Ute and you do take it camping, then please leave the television at home. We don't want plugs and things we don't want in camping trips. But anyway, let's hope that the Ford electric Ute actually gets to Australia. There's no sign at the moment, unfortunately, that it is, and its competitors are equally enigmatic. Tesla has the Cybertruck coming along, but is no sign that that will come because of our archaic design rules to protect an industry, a car making industry that no longer exists in Australia. And maybe the Rivian, also an American car, will make it here, but there's no telling when that might be. In the meantime, we're still seeing a few more models come into the Australian market. They're still too expensive. There's still not enough policy encouragement for electric vehicles. And as we see in Victoria this week, we've now got an electric vehicle tax. And so you now have to sort of count the kilometres you do in your electric vehicle and pay a fee. And if you don't, you will lose your licence. In many ways, we've got so much to catch up in electric vehicles in Australia. We're leading the world in rooftop solar, of course, but because we don't have a government that supports the policy, we're going to trail the world in electric vehicles.